Good morning, everyone. It's Trader Rob. Today is Friday, March 13th. Hope everyone's having a fantastic morning. Let's get into the charts. Cash Profit Friday here this morning. Just type in the word footprint into the chat, and you'll be entered in to win 5% of my session profits today here. See if we can have a nice little green day. All right, so our first little flip here of the morning. Got a reaction band down here at the 24,578 down to the 559. Got a small unbalanced volume area here on the NQ at the 24,537. And then a reaction band sitting right underneath that at the 24,525 down to the 24,506. Above us, we've got a 5-minute level here at the 24,816. Strong reactionary band at the 24,961 to the 24,936 with a nice liquidity level here at the 24,926. As far as the ES, this is what the ES looks like this morning. Got a strong little reversal there last night. Okay, sellers have inched down just a bit. We'll keep an eye out here and see who can win this tug of war here. Reminder, just type in footprint once. My auto picker will exclude out duplicates, so. Alright, so we can see here buyers are giving it a shot. Sorry, sellers are giving it a shot, but buyers are still holding them at bay here. Rough day in the markets for me yesterday. Negative $3,800 P&L. Pretty much wiped away my profits for March. So pretty much back to break even for March. Nelson, good morning. Cad, good morning. Winter J, good morning. Todd Lewis, AP, Miss Esser, K2000, Parth, Rick, a non-account, Real Bly, Rick, good morning everyone. Anna, good morning. Carrie, Nordic, Karen, Robert, Keith, Joe, Steve, Wendy, good morning all. Chica, good morning. Coach Cleats, good morning. Okay, sellers defending right there. Switch down to the 1 minute. A little early area here of some unbalanced volume. 24,689 looks pretty strong. First layer of liquidity right there. Sellers absorbed. Okay, buyers defending. Switching down to my 60 range here. All right, first test here of some unbalanced volume here by sellers. There's a tap. No flip there. Let's take a look at the 30. Okay, 30 would have given us a decent entry there. All right, take a little short here. All right, gonna close that one out. Positive footprint there. Let's go back to the 120. Let's see if anything here has changed. Our keyword today is footprint for the 5% cash profit giveaway. Just type it into the chat. Okay, buyers just left a little area right here. Not scalpable just yet because we're a little too close to selling pressure right here, but we'll see if any of this red switches to green, and then we'll look for a scalp right here at the 24,655. Okay, buyers pushing, sellers trying to defend. Let's see who can win this little battle here. Big picture looks like. See how much the sellers are trying to defend. They're not able to. Okay, buyers left an unbalanced volume area sitting right at the 24,726. We could look for a retracement down to the 24,726. And then we also have below that the 24,655 for both scalping areas here. Okay, sellers trying to defend their turf here a little. Pretty crazy morning here this morning. We've had like 50 to 60 mile wind gusts here in Chicago. And power got knocked out like 2 times within seconds of coming back on, knocking back out. But the winds have died down just a bit. I say that, but I really don't know right now because I'm in my basement. All right, definitely testing here an area of absorption here. Let's see if buyers can defend their area here or not. We do have some news at 9 a.m. We've got University of Michigan sentiment and U.S. JOLTS job openings. Earlier this morning at 7:30, we had PCE, GDP, durable goods, consumer spending. All right, so back down to my 60 here. We'll see if buyers defend here at the 24,726. Sellers left a little area right there. Can't take a short from there because we still got strength here from buyers. If you haven't, I appreciate a like on the stream. Big pocket of liquidity sitting right at the 730s. We'll see if we can get a little swipe here, right off of our blue line here, our entry. See if we can take a nice little scalp to the long side. Okay, this is the area where sellers were unbalanced, so we'll see if they get pushed through here. Looks like they are going to. Okay, sellers defending. Funny, every time I say sellers defending or buyers defending, I remember I was watching Top Gun 2, and during the movie, whenever there was a missile being shot at one of the F-14s, they would hit their flares and they would say, "Oh, Maverick defending." And I just keep thinking of that movie every time I say that now. All right, so this proved to be an area here where they wanted to balance out, so I can delete that. Let's go to the bigger time frame. Let's make sure that nothing here has changed. It has not. Let's see if the buyers can get through here or not. Once again, here are the rules for the Friday Profit giveaway. Just type in the keyword footprint into the YouTube chat, and we'll pick the winner at 10:30 a.m. this morning. 5% of my session profits. For those of you just joining, the reason why you see 0 for the month of March was up about 3,900 bucks from yesterday's session, and then took a $3,800 loss yesterday. Made some funny money in the overnight, so pretty much back to break even. All right, so you can see that you know, the red areas where this is my volume footprint. Are still proving out to be exactly where sellers are strong, and we know where buying is strong right now. they're gonna have to get through the 47s right here. See if they can break through there. Okay, you can see the selling pressure coming in. Buyer's still defending here. The only thing that'll change my green and red is on the higher 120 range footprint. You can see how the contracts increased here. This was the area of some unbalanced volume. I'd like to see them go down to about the 20s right here, if I could. That's just what Bookmap is showing me. 27s to the 20s. 22s just got pulled. All right, I might hold off on the scalp here. If we take a look at the 120, we've got a lot of positive delta and still strong selling pressure here. So let's just kind of anticipate that. This would have been my area for a flip. But I did say that if they can get down to the 20s, it would be a little better. All right, so we just did get a flip on the 120. So now this comes down to here. And this red comes down to here. Go back down to the 60. Did not get a flip there. Perfect. Now let's take a look and see what these suckers might have left us here. Not the strongest level in the world here. So this is where sellers currently left some unbalanced volume. I'd be looking and be interested here at this 24/7, let's call it the 780s. Show you guys the big picture here. Where buying is strong and currently where selling is strong. And they did not take out the 20s yet, so they're probably coming after that, the 720s. But can't really take a long here into this continued selling pressure, right, that they've continued even right here. Man, such big conflicting reports here on these news events. U.S. JOLTS opening came in higher than expected, which again made no sense to the economic, to the labor news that we got from last week. University of Michigan sentiment coming in higher than expected. So get rid of this guy. He proved to be a nothing burger. Well, not a nothing burger. He definitely gives us some clues. Okay, again, selling pressure right here. Can't short this just yet. Okay, buyers still defending their area. Let's see how sellers react right here in the shaded area. It's starting at the 725s. Can't take a short from there yet, though. Okay, just tapped in. Even though this would be an entry confirmation for me here, I just am going into buying strength right here, so just lower probability play for me. Even though obviously it would have worked out really nicely. Okay, so sellers now have regained a little bit more territory here. As you can see, buyers were trying to push this market up right here. Sellers are still able to overcome them. So a lot of effort here by buyers with zero result. Kind of a quick little area right here. Probably not going to have enough time for this one, but also a little tight. Nothing to do there. But you could see every area here that we map out with unbalanced volume, you're typically going to get a pretty decent reaction to it. There's not enough spacing right here yet. Go to the bigger 120 here. My lowest footprint currently to scalp from is the 30. Is the 30 range, was equivalent to 7.5 points on the NQ. Now it gets a little noisy, it gets a little quick, but on these smaller scalps, it's not a bad option because it gives you a pretty good entry, pretty good risk to reward. If you want a little bit more confirmation, you could always stay on the 60 range, which is equivalent to 15 points. That'll give you a better indication. It'll give you better room for possible sweep to bigger liquidity pocket that might be resting right underneath the 655s. So there's advantages and disadvantages of both of the footprints. Actually, of all three of the footprints. You know, the 120 is definitely going to give you your best confirmation, which is the higher time frame one right here that I use to color out my areas of buying and selling strength. It gives you much better picture of the bigger move. Obviously, it comes with bigger risk because this is now a 30-point box here. And my stop always goes at the bottom of the box, and I'm typically targeting 1-to-1, or, you know, sometimes if there's, you know, if I'm just trying to get some base hits, you know, 20 points, 25 points. And then on the 60 range, you know, you're going to have a stop loss ranging around 15 points. And the 30, you're going to have 7.5, probably about 8 to 9 points, depending on where your entry is from. And then time of day starts to impact, ATR starts to impact. The lower the ATR, the later in the morning, you know, then you could start pretty much just playing with the 60 range and the 30 range. If you're a true scalper, in and out of the market in, you know, obviously less than a minute. Majority of my trades are probably 30 to 40 seconds long. You know, you're going to probably want to stick to the 60 and 30 range. So right here on this unbalanced volume area, Bookmap is showing me that the 57s, so right, probably about 1.5 points right above this line right here, pretty good pocket that stretches down to about the 60s. So right in this area right here, we've got some resting orders. But the way I come up with unbalanced volume is it needs to be an impulsive move. It needs to break structure. And then I kind of find those little pockets in the market. And when you have solid green and you've got enough space, you know, nothing has happened on the higher time frame to change your bias in here from green to red, then I've got enough space for a scalp. So that's what allows me to take that trade. And even though I'm on the 60, I am looking at the 120 very closely on the left-hand side of my chart. Okay, so now they pulled the 57s. They brought it up to the 660s right here. It doesn't give me a very warm, fuzzy feeling. Because where I had the liquidity sitting at was right in this area, which Bookmap did confirm, but currently did not. They just pulled it a little bit higher. Okay, sellers now left the 24/7/11s unbalanced here, so this could be a scalping target if some of this green here changes to red. Big if. The 660 area now that they're defending, or I should say that where liquidity is currently sitting at, is it's definitely gotten a little bit weaker. $24/700s right now shows a good amount of liquidity also sitting right here. Let's see what that matches up with. Oh, we did have a flip right here. I was gonna say something wasn't right there when I saw that liquidity sitting there. All right, that's very interesting now. So now that I got that intel, that's sitting right here. Usually like to leave a little space in between the red and the green. It just makes it easier for me to grab onto. Well, that was a dirty shame right there. Wasn't even paying attention until I saw the footprint down here. But this area looked a little sussy to me. Let's see if they sweep this down here. I'd be very interested then in a long. Okay, big absorption right here. Another big absorption right there. Took a little long here. Get a little continuation push to the upside. I cut that one right there. Didn't like that. Let's take this one out here. Be right back, guys. Well, that played out to be the wrong move there. Few negative things there on my part. Got the flip right off of my entry. Pretty good. Stop really should have been at the bottom of this footprint. Got in a little bit higher. My 15-point stop was right here, which we wouldn't have hit. So, a little bit bad trading there. But the move was captured correctly. No surprise that it goes right to where sellers are defending. A little jumpy on my part there. Morning, chum sauce. All right, we'll see how sellers react here at the 697s. Not seeing much strength on Bookmap here yet. Just take a look, really quick picture here at the bigger picture. All right, 5 minutes for IB to be set. Let's keep an eye on this footprint right here. Okay, no worries there. Back to the 60. See here if we can possibly take a scalp here at the 697s. Don't really see a lot of liquidity sitting there. 700s look okay. Tapped into the 700s there. Let's see if we get some positive delta there or not. We don't. Let's take a look at the 30 here. No. Okay. Nothing for us to do there. We haven't tapped into any reaction bands. We haven't tapped into really anything yet here this morning. Just trying to find these little scalping areas, which have proved to be pretty good in this little range that we're in. Let's actually see if they can tap into the 25s, would be a little better. So I'm going to extend this up to the 25s right around there. Okay, got the absorption there. Hammered through there. Take a look at the higher time frame here. I'm sorry, the bigger picture, I should say. Pretty good sized dump. We already kind of tested this here. But the 635s now look very, very strong once again, because there's probably going to be your stop area right here. So there's going to be a lot of stops sitting right there. So we'll kind of see how that reacts. Let's take a look at the 60 here, see if this gives us anything. We should get a reaction here. Man, fuck. Resting limit orders today would be the right way to go. The fuck? Give me something, man. Trying for today will be at 10:30 a.m. Central Time here. Just type in the keyword footprint. Hopefully I can get into the green by then, but we'll see. Okay. Obviously, an area of stops would be right here at the 39s. Which you can see on the bookmap pretty clearly. Again, just what the big picture looks like here. they're tapped into stops right there. Okay, we got the IB now sitting at the 24,611. We got some pretty decent space to it as well, which I like. Jump down there to the 30. You got the 60 on the right hand side there. SIC 24,600s right here have a shit ton of liquidity as well, so we have to kind of keep an eye on that. Alright, I need to mess around with that. See if we can... Okay, we just tapped into a little piece there. Might have been a little early here, but... And I had the wrong fucking ATM on too. That was only 10 points. Oh man. So 60 gave you a phenomenal footprint right there, which would have been at least given me at least 15 points. That's what the ATM I have set on the 60 range. I was down to the 30 range, which I did get a very good footprint right here. Very good risk to reward. Could have probably rolled that for a little bit more points. Oh shit, I got an open trade. Why is this happening? This is ridiculous. My cash account was open. Of course, the only one that matters. Okay, like I stated, a lot of liquidity sitting right here at the 24,600s. Actually, I would have made that 15-pointer just by the skin of my teeth, though. Nothing to change yet on the 120 here. Even on this strong move to the downside here yet. Nothing to change. Let's see what this reaction band can give us here. if anything. All right, they just tapped into a pretty big, well, they kind of went right through that reaction band. They are pumping. All right, I'm going to take a little long here from the 120 range. So this is going to have to come down to here. 33 points of risk. And let's put it at about right around here. Let's see where it makes sense. Actually, right there, something makes the most sense. Let's see if we get a pump here. I don't like that right there. I wanted to see defense right there. Fuck. It might have trapped me right here. And we got a pretty thin order book right here, which is giving me flashbacks of yesterday. Yeah, battle wounds. So the 97s have, there was some resistance right there at the 97s. I should have just probably taken it right there. I did see that. All right, let's drop this down right here. Damn. And it's so... And the sellers are stepping back in too. Fuck. Should have spotted that a little sooner. They're going to go right into the 82s right now. Let's see, they got to break through the 82s. I need buyers really to step up here, or I will be cooked. All right, I'm going to reduce my risk right to here, and I'm probably going to take a losser, but I got another footprint right there, so we'll see. Not looking too good. So I reduced my risk on this footprint right here, which was another flip to the upside. Okay, they just opened up a little passage. Let's go. Don't do that. Don't swipe me. Don't swipe me. Let's go. This is nerve-wracking. So right now, 600s, the 24 600s, right above my TP is the next big liquidity area. So let's see if they can target that and hopefully knock my TP out. Ugh. Ugh. And all turned red now. All turned red. Fuck me. Ay, ay, ay. So I'll give you a little replay of that one. What I was looking at was right at the 98s. There was pretty much a small wall of resistance right here. And that's exactly where we came right up to, right to the 98s. And I think my TP was sitting at like the 601s, which was right around here. Be right back. All right, let's get back into trading mode. Well, turned out to be a good reduction of risk there. So in my strategy, here was a flip, here was a flip. If I get another flip on my continuation to where I'm going towards, then my stop gets moved up. Man, sellers are really coming in here now, huh? I think they cleaned out a shit ton right there. Nothing I can really do here yet. Looks like we found a little tug-of-war area here. Let's see if the sellers can take over here again. I almost prefer them to flip this candle. I got a nice little area. I could take a short at the 520s and the 548s. So he's a pretty big flipper. Let's jump to 60. Watch this area here at the 24 520s pretty carefully. Okay, you can see the delta increase there. We just tapped into that unbalanced volume area. Let me see what the 30 is showing me here. Nothing good. All right, I'm gonna take a little stab here. Let's see if we get the flip on the 120 as well. That would be amazing. Actually, it wouldn't be until the 568s, 570s. Oh, Lord. All right, be right back. Well, just hit a golf ball and shanked it. Shanked it right. All right, this will be the last short of the day. Last trade, I should say. Right there. And this guy, let's put him to where the sellers were showing strength. And I'll manage it here as I need to here. Why is it showing currency? No. And we'll switch to the candles. Let's see if the candles give us any better luck on this trade. You know what? Good time for a bathroom break. All right, what'd I miss? Okay. 22 points here. So we kind of got to get through this reaction band here. And the 120 doesn't look great. Negative delta, sell buyers obviously pushing. If we could flip this red, that would be great. If we close this green, it's not good at all, which is not good. I liked it better when we were down here. Let's get through that reaction band. Same spot got held up first time. Come on, get through it. I like that the delta is definitely cooking here. Small little push. All right, I'll take it out right there for 51 points. That would have probably hit my target right there, but am I all closed out? I am. Woo! Man. Just in the nick of time, too, with 5 minutes to spare. Holy fuck. Kind of weaseled out there with the early stop, but There's a lot to dissect there, but if we dissect it, overall today, I would say the trading has not been fantastic at all. But we flipped this red, obviously, on, I think it was, what candle? It was, let's see, right here. So we flipped this whole entire region red. And even though we did have a nice little pullback up here, still didn't see any flips from the buyers. And we finally got it back into our reaction band right here. Got a good confirmation, 75 positive delta, red footprint. Got into the short. And I'll be honest with you, this candle right here gave me a lot of inclination to close out of that trade. But I kind of had some battle wounds already from the previous trade. And, you know, once I knew we could break through this band down here, I figured TP was pretty safe. I say safe, but I still exited that trade probably about 8 or 7 points early. 51 points. So not the greatest trading, but I'll take the green. All right, we got 3 minutes for the giveaway. Let me just do the math here. It might be over 50 bucks. What are we up? 12, 17. 60 bucks up for grab today. Nice. I appreciate a like, guys, on the stream. I worked my fucking ass off today for this, to be honest with you. All right, let me get the giveaway prepped up here. All right, here we go. Let's get this prepped up and ready. All right, 72 people. Let's go. And then I'll start a 2-minute timer. All you gotta do is just type in thanks, and we'll take care of it from there. Here we go. Okay, Brent B, 7376. You've got 2 minutes starting right now. Just type in thank you into the chat. And again, that's Brent B, 7376. Just type in thank you in the chat. At the 2-minute mark, we'll reset it and start all over again. Brent B, 7376. Who knows? Maybe they saw I was down $1,800 and figured there's no way this guy's going to get back into the green. Or we'll see if Brent B had faith. Got 1 minute, 15 seconds left on the timer. $61 is up for grabs here today. 50 seconds left. I don't know, Parth, I don't have that right now. Yeah. I could see maybe a lot of people losing faith. We'll see. Brent, you got 10 seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, we'll start all over again. It's filters. There's a way to do alternate winners, but I haven't really figured that out. And the last thing I need right now is to try something I haven't tried before. Filter by hashtag footprint. All right. We are ready. Let's pop this back up on the screen. Good. Start. Here we go. $61 up for grab today. All right, Steve. I know that believe you might be in my signal group, Steve L15. Right now I see him all the time on, I think you're in the signal group. Steve L15, you've got now 2 minutes to say thank you. I do know that screen name. Steve L, thank you. Perfect. Good job. All right, let's go. Steve, I think you might be in my, let's see here. Yeah, I think you're in the signal group. Let me just see if you're in here again too. Steve L, yeah, you are. All right, so I got your email, so we're all good. All right, Steve L is the winner for today for 61 bucks. Cash money. All right. Appreciate a like on the stream, guys. I worked my freaking tail off. Worked my tail off here today. I don't drink much these days, but a shot of whiskey would have been nice. Holy moly. Holy moly. Thanks, A9 account. All right, thank you guys, everybody, for the support. I don't know what else more to say. Today was kind of a wild ride there. And the part of trading, I will tell you, I like to always give a little bit of wisdom. There's a part of trading here that that will always knock you down. And if you guys notice, the majority of my let me take this timer thing off that keeps going off. You did your job. Thank you, buddy. If you guys notice today, there's a common theme. The majority of the unbalanced areas that I found in the market right here, okay? I would say probably 80% of these zones today worked out really nicely. And they would have worked out really nicely with just a straight limit order, okay? There'll be some days where, you know, it goes down to like 50%, 40%, and a footprint confirmation saves you on a lot of those areas. You just kind of have to have the confidence to realize what part of the edge works best. But what you guys see here with this with these unbalanced volume areas, these are how I find my signals for the signal group. And it's the same exact strategy that I've been using for 14 months now. And they work extremely, extremely well. Now, today I am in like hyper, I was kind of hyper scalping, so I found maybe 4 or 5 of them. You know, I kind of made, every night I do a daily recap in my signal group for the members. And yesterday's was, well, it took me almost a page and a half in Word to type everything out. And, you know, I said, you know what, maybe, you know, based on what the market's kind of been giving me, you know, I'll probably try to look for base hits. You know, those 10 to 15 point range seem to be very easily hittable. But I also mentioned that, you know, if the setup is there and the setup comes in on the 120, that, you know, I have the confidence to take those trades. Now, am I going to take a 30-point risk to make 51 points every day? No. And, you know, was there some bad trading in there? Possibly. You know, I'm going to have to really kind of reevaluate what fully all my intentions were on this trade. Because, you know, I can't bullshit the fact that there's a little bit more added pressure, especially on days like today. I know that I've got definitely more eyeballs on my trading, and from day one I've always said that on YouTube I don't want to change the style of trading, my style of trading, and to a certain degree it has. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm not going to sit here and you know, prior to switching over to being on YouTube every single day, I was very, you know, I would find these areas, these reactionary areas, like for instance, this one right here, okay? And I would sit on the 20 range footprint chart, which is the lowest footprint chart that I would go on. I don't even use the 20 footprint anymore. I'm on the 30 footprint. And then on the ES, I would be on the 4 range. I would find my areas. I would take my scalp off of the 20 and the 4, and I would close out the trades 2 points in profit. I would close my NQ trades 7 to 10 points in profit on an E-mini. I would never have never traded the micros prior to this. And I was honestly extremely successful that way. I was very profitable that way. I went 2 months with like maybe 2 or 3 losing days for the entire months. And, you know, and then there was a small change because then I added the 20 funded accounts, the 20 PAs through Apex. I added the Tradeifys, I added the Lucids, and, you know, gone are the days of the trading the E-minis because of the fact that the swings there are kind of big. And this is the part that I would say that kind of changed. I personally feel that if I was taking 6-point scalps or 2-point scalps on the ES, that you guys would have no clue of what exactly it is that I'm looking for or how quickly I want to get out of a trade. So I settled in on some ATMs that I figured were pretty attainable, pretty scalpable, and, you know, I mean, it's proven to be okay, just not as great as I probably was trading on my own. And there's decisions that are made here that are split second. And when I don't have, you know, hundreds of people viewing me, I don't even know if it's hundreds, but let's just say 100 people viewing me, you know, it does change your psychology just a tad. So I want to be transparent with you guys. I just want to let you guys know that, you know, these are some of the things that I think about, and I do a really good job of journaling that helps me kind of stay focused throughout the day. You guys notice that if I take a loss, I pause the stream, I put the be right back on there, and I'll go and hit a golf ball. I've got a golf simulator down here in my basement. I go hit a golf ball, and that's just my trigger. That's my trigger for what I'm, you know, to kind of give myself a pause. And, you know, my daily recaps with my Signal group also, I think, is a great way for me just to put on paper what I've been thinking about the entire day. So, one, I know it's a long rant. I really I appreciate all the support that you guys have given me. If you guys don't mind, the only thing I ask for is a like on the stream, which is pretty simple. And if you are going to be purchasing any evaluations or any funded accounts, if you want to use my code TraderRob, I would highly appreciate that. I have affiliations with Apex, Tradeify, Take Profit, and Lucid. All right, guys, that's all I got for you guys today. I'm going to see here if I can take a little breather and probably come back to the charts a little bit later.